Good morning, it's January 11th, and this is your daily brief in science. Here's everything you need to know. NASA has announced delays to its Artemis program, with Artemis II mission now scheduled for September 2025 and the first crewed landing set for September 2026. The delays are primarily due to safety concerns with the spacecraft, including issues with the environmental control and life support systems, faulty circuitry, and problems with valves. Development issues with lunar landers and spacesuits, as well as a fuel leak from Astrobotic, have also contributed to the delays. The setbacks have increased the program's estimated cost to $93 billion through 2025. Despite these challenges, NASA and SpaceX remain committed to their goals in space exploration. The delays highlight the importance of safety and collaboration in achieving milestones in human lunar exploration. A new study in Nature explores the genetic mutations of a 5,000-year-old nomadic tribe to understand multiple sclerosis, MS, and other modern diseases. Scientists compared DNA of ancient skeletons with living people to track significant migrations and identify genetic variants associated with MS risk. The study focused on gene variants from Bronze Age cattle herders who migrated to northwestern Europe 5,000 years ago. These gene variants, which likely protected them from livestock infections, are linked to a higher MS risk among Northern Europeans. The study suggests that differences in exposure to animal germs may trigger MS. Further research is needed to definitively prove the link between these ancient gene variants and the development of diseases today. The U.S. lunar exploration plans have faced setbacks due to the failure of the Astrobotic Peregrine 1 mission and delays in Artemis program. The lunar lander experienced technical issues, failing to deliver NASA-supported science instruments. This puts the U.S. behind China in the lunar race. Safety issues with the Orion crew capsule have delayed astronaut missions to the moon. Despite these setbacks, NASA remains hopeful of landing on the moon before China. The failure of the Astrobotic Peregrine lander raises questions about NASA's reliance on private companies. Experts argue that failures are expected in space exploration. The CLPS program aims to provide a cheaper, more efficient way to bring scientific payloads to space, demonstrating the potential of commercial partnerships in advancing space missions. A recent study by Columbia and Rutgers universities discovered that store-bought bottled water contains significantly more plastic particles than previously believed. The researchers used a new microscopy technique called stimulated Raman scattering, SRS, and found an average of 240,000 plastic particles per liter of water, 90% of which were classified as nanoplastics. The most common types of plastic found were nylon and polyamide, indicating contamination during the filling and purification process. Another study also found high levels of plastic particles, including nanoplastics, in bottled water in the US and Portugal. 90% of common protein sources consumed by humans were found to contain microplastics. Exposure to plastics is believed to increase the risk of various health issues, although the health implications are still under investigation. The studies underline the need for further research, minimizing plastic waste, reducing overall plastic use, and developing safer plastics. The study calls for further collaboration and policy action to limit plastic production. Over 170 nations are currently negotiating a treaty to address the global plastic crisis. The extinct primate species Gigantopithecus blacki went extinct between 295,000 and 215,000 years ago due to a lack of its preferred food source. Climate change and forest transformation led to a shortage of fruits, causing the apes to switch to less nutritious alternatives. The large size of Gigantopithecus blacki became a disadvantage as forest patches shrunk. Their lifestyle specialization and limited mobility contributed to their extinction. The study shows the vulnerability of large animals to becoming too specialized. Rodents carried the remains of Gigantopithecus into the caves, suggesting a possible interaction with Homo erectus. These findings highlight the effects of climate change and forest alterations on species extinction. This has been your daily brief in science. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates at www.brief.news. And for more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit www.brief.news/podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with everything you need to know.